Okay, so when we think about the online streaming entertainment world, one of the things that a lot of people don't really bring up is Sony. Sony has said that they don't want to start their own streaming service because they would just rather play the field. And I think, in essence, it's worked well for them. The Boys is a Sony production and it's really, really, really popular on Amazon. It sold so many extra copies of the graphic novel after the show came out. People were actually legitimately wowed by it. But and by the way, they use that as an argument for as to why they were okay with Spider-Man coming back to Sony. Like Sony can do it themselves. We make good things too. Sometimes. I mean, your PlayStation division is pretty amazing. In fact, that is your primary moneymaker for Sony as a whole. But today we learned that they've decided to shut down a service that, quite frankly, I felt was already gone. And that is that is here the PlayStation to shut down, or Sony to Interactive to shut down the PlayStation Vue. Now, if you don't know what the PlayStation Vue is, think of YouTube TV or Hulu TV, but for PlayStation. They thought that because it has the biggest install base with most of the clients, that are gamers, console gamers having a PS4, that this would be a great way for them to make money. Well, it just failed to work. So it says here, over 4 years ago, we made the bold decision to change the rules and revolutionize traditional TV viewing experience in the US with PlayStation Vue. We set the bar high and sought to innovate and establish industry by delivering a modern TV experience. By completely rethinking live and on-demand television, we offered an incredible user experience that allowed viewers to discover and watch content in completely new ways. Not really true. It's the same thing as like having a DVR. It's like Hulu TV, YouTube TV. You get the idea. It's TV just through your PlayStation. Now, I said today we are announcing that we will shut down PlayStation Vue service on January 30th, 2020. Unfortunately, the high competitive pay TV industry with expensive content and network deals has been slower to change than we expected. Because of this, we have decided to remain focused on our core gaming business. And there's a reason for that. The gaming is what makes Sony money. Sony Pictures did not make a lot of cash, and I'll talk about that here in a second, but they have not made a lot of money recently, and that is a big, 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 big thing because they know where the cash cow is, and it's not in entertainment for them. It's in gaming. Look. Also, they did that show Powers or whatever it was. Power. It was a 2 season superhero show that was based, I think, on a graphic novel that was supposed to premiere predominantly on the PS4. They didn't market it really. They didn't push it really, and it was kind of low rated as it was. They did 2 seasons, and then they just kind of silently canceled it. There's not a lot of love there on a console for people who want to watch entertainment, which is weird because so many people watch Netflix and Hulu through their PS4. Same with YouTube. Weird, isn't it? Right? Now, PlayStation fans can continue to access movies and TV content through the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation Store on PS4 and our other partnerships with top entertainment apps. With 100 million PlayStation 4s of the market today, our community continues to grow and thrive. We will continue to deliver the best entertainment experience across the network, along with other key gaming services, including PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus. We are very proud of what the PlayStation Vue was able to accomplish. We had ambitious goals for how our service could change how people watch TV, showcasing PlayStation's ability to innovate in a brand new category with the pay TV industry. We want to thank all of our customers, some of whom have been with us with PlayStation Vue's launch in 2015. We appreciate your continued support as we move through this transitional period and look towards the future. Okay, well, let's be realistic here. Why did they end up leaving, right? Why are they closing this thing down? It doesn't have anything to do with anything other than the fact that it just people weren't doing it. Notice how they didn't tell you how many people out of those 100 million users on a PS4, the 100 million people that have bought a PS4, never mind the people who bought one for their house of 4 or 5 and they just have the one. A lot of people play on PlayStation, and it says that it was 100 million units. So how many of those units are actually using PlayStation Vue? Not a lot of them. Not a lot at all. That's actually one of the big reasons why they're closing it down. And quite frankly, the service was never anything really to write home about, from my understanding of it. I think Sony has major problems, massive problems, in the area of trying to roll out these products. They supported it for 4 years, which I give them credit on. I don't even feel like the PS Vita got 4 years of support, but that was also something they were trying to sell through the PS Vita. Oh, you want to watch TV on your Vita through Wi-Fi? You could do that. And nowadays, it seems like it's more accessible, but people are just doing it through their smartphone. And I feel the Vita, which is a far superior system to the 3DS, just lacked the infrastructure and support to keep going. And it does go to show you that Sony really, really, really has a lot of problems with that. But coming over here to this article here from Hollywood Reporter from back in the end of July says Sony Pictures swings to quarterly profit of only 3.7 million. Now, that does tie into the reason to close down PlayStation Vue and to start focusing more on gaming. It says overall profits at Sony Core fell 33% to only 1.38 billion. Sony Pictures posted a profit of 3.7 million for the first fiscal first quarter, which ran April to June, compared to a $68 million loss in the same period last year, Sony Corp reported. The film unit revenue was up 11% to 1.7 billion, with the underperforming Men in Black International the biggest release in the quarter. There was no big release in the same quarter last year, and sales from the motion picture segments were up strongly. Sales from television productions up slightly and down slightly at media networks. So they had a couple good things with movies, but the television side of things was both up and down, which is never really a good sign. They go on to say here that the first fiscal quarter usually results in a loss in the pictures division because it is a quiet period for theatrical releases. This is the first profit in the quarter for 5 years. Sony Chief Financial Officer Hiroki Totoki told investors at the company's headquarters in Tokyo. But here's the thing: look at this. This ran from April to June. Not a lot going on in April to June. That's the start of the summer movie season. That's May and June. And even April saw the release of Avengers Endgame this year, Avengers Infinity War last year, Fast and Furious 8 the year before that. We had a couple big April releases in I think it was 2016. I forget what came out in April, but I know Fast and Furious 7 came out in April of 2015. And a lot, I mean, like they've had big, releases going all the way back to Captain America Civil War. Oh, no, sorry, not even that. Fast and Furious 5, April of 2011 was a very, very big release. They know that there's good times to release movies. So that is a very bunk thing to say. They go, oh, well, the quarter was down because we didn't really have a lot of, we didn't really have a lot of things going on at the time. This is bad for us. No, they released Men in Black International. It bombed, and they only turned but the thing is, though, they can argue they turned a profit for the first time in 5 years during that quarter. They turned a profit of 3.7 million. So there's something there, but the costs are going up. They got the 1.1 billion off of Spider-Man Far From Home, which came about in the second financial quarter or fiscal quarter, which definitely is going to add to their overall portfolio for the year. But we know that from 2016, they had to write down 980 some odd million dollars in losses from Sony Pictures. Sony cannot manage franchises. They cannot manage a movie industry, the movie business. We know this. They need Marvel and they need that connection to the MCU to keep Spider-Man afloat, to hopefully prop up other projects to make a lot of money. We all know this. It's pretty easy. The writing is right there on the wall. But I do feel that with the closure of PlayStation Vue and focusing more on gaming, Sony is looking to exit itself from the television side of things as well as the theatrical side of things. And there are people out there that are going to disagree with me on that, and that's absolutely fine. I don't have any hard data or hard evidence to back this up. All I can do is look at how Sony has acted, how much money they've made, the profit, the choices that they've done over the course of the past 5-6 years, which is not great, and look at that and go, yeah, you can see that they're consistently losing money in this division. And now they did say that having Sony Pictures Entertainment and having Sony Television all 100% owned and operated by Sony is massively part of their strategy, which they said this a while ago, which would have probably tied into the idea of PlayStation Vue. But PlayStation Vue clearly isn't bringing in what they want, so that strategy has failed. And if their strategy is to not open their own streaming service to stream all the Columbia Pictures and Sony Pictures content through there, and instead they just want to license it out to the competitors, that's going to go well for a little while. It's going to keep money coming in, but they're not bringing it in the box office, which is where they make the bulk of their income. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are they going to focus more on doing streaming shows that could potentially bring in a fair profit? Are they going to focus more on smaller budgeted movies as a way to bring in some extra profit? Or are they going to continue bungling franchises and making boneheaded decisions because whoever's in charge over there, Tony Vincent as well as Tom Rothman, do not understand the current landscape when it comes to theaters? I don't believe Sony is in control of anything. They've been free falling for years, and Tom Rothman was set to kind of come on in and fix things. And they're going to argue 3.7 million is a bump up. So hey, round of applause. You made 3.7 million in 3 months. I mean, that's more than me personally. I don't make anywhere near that kind of money. But when you're a massive organization like Sony Pictures that's got worldwide, and you have Chinese backed Men in Black International, because it was Chinese backed by Tencent, and it still couldn't pull in a profit from China or anywhere else for that fact. There's a problem. I'm saying in the next 2 years, Sony Pictures, Sony Entertainment, they're going to sell off. Then they're just going to focus on games because that's where the money is for them, and that's a lot of money. But I don't know. Do you agree with me? Do you think Sony is done? Do you think Sony is still around? Do you think it's time to stick a fork in them because they're done? Let me know down in the comments below. I will talk to you all later. Have yourself a fantastic day. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, and have a good one. And peace out.